Hey, Michelle from the Creative Wild Heart here. So in this video, I want to show you how you could take any spreadsheet and spruce it up for a fall festive feel. So you could do this with any season actually, but because it's currently fall, it's pumpkin spice season. I wanted to do a pumpkin spice themed spreadsheet. So I'm going to show you how to customize and add a little bit of flavor to your own spreadsheet. Now, if you want to use the same spreadsheet we have in this video, I have a template. It's the basic budget template. You can grab it below. So I'll link to that if you want to join and do the same one. If not, you can use any spreadsheet that you currently have. So as you can see, I've taken my basic budget spreadsheet and I've made it a very fall, very pumpkin spice style. We've got some cute clip art in here. We've got different color schemes. It looks really, really cute. And that's what I love about spreadsheets is that you can easily change the colors of them and add different fonts to make them a different style or a different feel. So we took something that looks very basic like this, very boring, very blah, and created something pretty like this. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. So the first thing we want to decide on is whether you're going to use clip art or not. So the images inside of here of my pumpkins and my pumpkin spice frappuccino, that is all clip art that I purchased on Etsy. Now you don't necessarily have to purchase clip art. You can always check out if there's free clip art online. You can also use AI to create your own clip art. Totally up to you. I know Canva has some great clip art as well as they have their own AI tool to create whatever images you want, whatever styles you want. So you could check out those things. But for me, I'm not the most creative person, so I like purchasing clip art from other designers that know what they're doing. So that's what I purchased here. I am also going to show you how to pick colors and stuff if you aren't using clip art. So it's totally okay if you want to use clip art or not, up to you. So anyways, the first thing you want to do is decide whether you're using clip art or not. Because if you are using clip art, what I want you to do is when we pull out our colors, we're going to pull it from an image. So what I did over here is I went to the Canva color palette generator. I'm going to link it below. It's a free color generator where you just upload an image and it will pull out different colors of that photo for you. So it makes it super easy for you to find colors to match your clip art. So I've already uploaded one of my images and it's pulled out these great colors. So I will probably be using this reddish color and then this orangish, beigeish, tannish color. I'll be using that as well. This is a little bit too dark of a brown for me, so I'm going to find a different brown, but essentially, it did all the work for me. It's already picked two of my colors for me. Now, if you don't have clip art, you can always go check out Coolers. This is a great tool where you can either use their color generator or you can use their exploring trending palettes, which I love using. So if you click on that and go to trending color palettes, now, if you go to the search bar, you can actually choose by topic. So because we're doing an autumn themed one, I would click on autumn, but there's a lot of different options here in case you're doing for a different theme. Maybe you want to do for Halloween, whatever you want. So I'm going to choose autumn and it's going to give me a bunch of color palettes that are very autumnish. And so now I can choose whether I want to go with like a softer color, if I want to go for darker or brighter. Maybe I want more of a purplish one. And you could just scroll and find whatever colors you like. You don't have to use all the colors from the palette. You can mix and choose from different ones if you want. Totally up to you, but if you don't have your own clip art, you could just choose colors from here. I love doing that, or you can always Google and look for fall color palettes. Totally up to you how you want to pick them, but because I'm using my clip art, I'm going to go back and I'm going to use some of these colors. Now, for my example, I have three different colors. I have like the lighter red, a brown, and then our orangish color. So I like using 2 to 3 different colors, and I like to have a dark shade as well as a light shade of each of those colors because it just gives a little bit of like, it gives matching styles to it because as you can see I have a lighter shade, but they also complement each other. It looks really nice, so that's what I prefer. So the first thing we want to do now that we've already chosen our clip art and we've chosen our color palette, I'm going to go over into my spreadsheet and I'm actually going to start changing the colors. So the first color I wanted to use is this red color. It's a little bit too dark for my liking because I like a little bit of a softer shade. So I'm going to go to the tint and shade generator. So I'm also going to link that below. This is a free website that you can just paste in any hex code and then you can make tints and shades and it will give you all of the shades from, so this is the current color that I just inputted. So it gives us the color all the way to black and then the same color all the way down to white. So it gives you the different shades. So for this one, I might choose this one as my darkest color. And then I'm going to go back into my spreadsheet. And this is where we want to select the cells that we want to add the colors to. Now, if you're using my templates, any of my templates, I use a color hack using the theme where it's super easy to change out the colors. But for this example, because you might not have my template, you might just be using your own spreadsheet, I'm going to just show you how to go manually and change each of the cells colors the easier way. So what I want to do is select each of the cells that I know are going to be this specific color. So I know this summary area as well as down here with the leftovers, that is going to be this reddish color. So what I want to do is select that cell. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to use the Command key as well as the Shift key, but if you're on a PC, most likely you're going to use your Control button as well as your Shift. So what I like to do is, so I've selected my first cell, I'm going to use the Command key to select my second cell, and then holding the Command and the Shift key. So again, if you're on a PC, you're going to be using your Control and your Shift key. So anytime I say Command, that's for Mac, just think Control for PC, okay? So I'm going to grab those. And then while those two are selected, I know that this one's going to be red. So I'm going to, again, holding down a Command key on a Mac or a Control key on your PC. I'm going to grab that one. And I believe it's the ones down here as well. So again, I'm going to hold my Command key or Control key, select that one. While holding down my Control/Command key, I'm going to hold the Shift key and then grab the last bit of it. Now, if that's a little bit too much for you, if you're new to using some shortcuts, you could go one cell at a time and take your time and do it. That's okay. I'm just going a little bit quicker because we're doing a video. Now I'm going to go to fill color and I'm going to hit the plus button and I'm going to paste in that hex code that I already chose and click OK. Now, you will probably not see this heads up warning, but because this is a template, I have a little bit of a heads up warning and that's totally okay. I think that's it for that. Let me just make sure that I did the same colors. Oh, that was a lighter one. That's okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to choose a lighter color that matches the same shade. So they're the same color, but it's a different shade, a lighter shade. And now I'm going to fill in just underneath it because I like my headers to be a darker shade and then my subheaders here to be a lighter shade. And I think, oh yeah, I did that in the lighter one too. That's okay. I'm going to do these in my lighter shade. So again, don't mind my little mistake there. That's totally okay. If you ever make a mistake, you could just fix it. Easy, no problem. So again, what I did is I selected the cells I want to change the color of. Now I'm going to go to fill color, hit that plus button, and then under the hex area, I'm just going to paste in my code and click OK. So as you can see, we now have those lighter colors. Now in this summary area, I want an even lighter color. So I'm just going to go back and grab the lightest color before white. And then I'm just going to take this area again. So I'm just selecting the very first cell. If I want to grab a range altogether, so this entire little area of cells, I'm just going to hold the Shift key and select the very bottom right corner of that range. So it's selected all those cells. And then I'm going to go back up to fill color, hit the plus button, and then paste in my new color and click OK. So as you can see, we've got our different shades in there. So now I want to go on to my second shade. So I'm going to grab this orangey tannish color. And then I'm going to select the areas where I want this to go. So I'm selecting expenses because I like to alternate it. So this one will be red, this one will be brown, this will be orange. Then we've got red, brown, orange. So again, to select two different cells that aren't arranged together, you're going to select the first cell, holding the Command or the Control key, and then select the other cell. So you select both at the same time, or you could do one at a time. That's totally okay as well. And then I'm just going to paste in my new color, click OK. Quite happy with that color. Now I'm going to go back to my tints and shades and enter in this new color so I can get a lighter shade. And I'm just going to grab that dark one right there. It's the second lightest. And then I'm going to come over here, and again, I'm just going to select the subheaders as well as the total area. So remember, you might want to take your time and just choose which cells get which color. It's up to you, depending on what your spreadsheet looks like. I already know which ones I want to do, but you might want to sit down and have a little think about it, and that's totally okay. So I'm going to select my cells, and I'm just going to hit the plus button, paste in that new code, and click OK. So as you can see, that's looking lovely. Now I need to get a new brown. I thought this brown was a little too dark for me, and when I went to go make shades of it, I wasn't happy with the color of it. Let me show you. So I thought this was a little bit not really what I was going for. So I went back into my coolers and I scrolled around until I found a brown that I liked. Now, which brown was it? It's a good question. Might just go copy the one that, oh, it was this one right here. So this is the thing, is sometimes like I will just go through my shades or my palettes that I see, and if I notice a brown that I really like, then I will go grab it. This one I think would look good, so I'm going to grab it, and then I'm going to do some tints and shades to see what other colors will come up from it. Let me paste you in there. And I like this lighter one right here, so I'm going to grab that, come back over here, and now I need to do for my other areas. And then I'm just going to fill a color, hit that plus button, paste in that hex code, click OK. Then I'm going to go back to my tints and shades. I'm going to grab the lighter shade of brown, and then I'm just going to do my subheaders and my totals. And my head's in the way. There we go. Again, you might have to do this one cell at a time, and that's okay. I've done this a lot, so that's why I know a lot of the shortcuts, and it's okay. You're brand new to it. So as you can see, we've added some different colors in here. That looks great. Now what I want to do is I actually want to change the background color to be a lighter shade of this like beige-ish color. So I'm just going to make a shade of that to see which one I'm happy with. And let's see, I think I chose this one last time. So with the templates, if you purchase a template from mine, I do have an easy way to easily change out the background color cells. So the background color cells, I'm talking about like anything that's like white here on the page. I have an easy way to do it, but since I know not everyone has a template in mind, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to do it without my little hack, but using templates makes it so much easier. I'm just going to say that. So I want to change all these white cells to be a lighter beigey color because the white looks good, but I do like to have a little bit of color in the background. So what I just want to do is I'm just going to grab ranges of cells and change the color of them. So selecting my first cell here, I'm going to hit the shift key and then grab all the way to the top of this. So as you can see, all of these cells here that I've selected, those are all currently white. I want to make them this off-white color. So I'm just going to hit the plus button, paste in my new color, and click OK. So as you can see, it's got a nice shade to it, but now I need to make sure all of the different white cells are all going to have that color. So it just takes a little bit of time to go around and grab the different areas. So you might need to do it one range at a time, but that's okay. Just take your time. Let's get my head out of the way. There we go. So again, if you want to grab different cell ranges, so for example here, I want to grab this range here and I want to grab this range over here. They're not touching. So if I want to grab two different cell ranges, I'm going to select the very first cell, holding the shift key, grab the last cell in that range. Now to grab the next one while keeping this selected, I'm going to use the command key on a Mac, control on a PC, select the very first cell, and then holding the control plus shift button, or the command if you're on a Mac, plus shift button, grab the last bit of that range there. And then again, I'm using the command control button to click the very first one. And then I'm using the command control button plus the shift key to grab the last one. So as you can see, now I'm grabbing multiple ranges. They're not touching each other, but it's just an easier way to grab a whole bunch of different ranges of cells and color them all at the same time. Again, this takes practice. I did not do this perfectly the first time I was playing with Google Sheets, so don't worry if you don't do it perfectly. So I'm just going to change those colors. So as you can see, I've made it so all the background colors are this beige. I could also change the colors of where they're going to write in their income, their budget, their actual amounts. I could change that too. I could just literally grab the entire range here using the shift key and then change it like this. Don't worry, you won't get a heads up warning. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. And it would look like this, but I kind of like the white in the background, so I might actually leave it where it's got white in the cells where they're going to add in their details. But I did miss a little area right here, so I need to make sure those cells have changed their color. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, so the next thing, once we've changed our colors, what we want to do is fonts. Now, fonts can be a huge, 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 huge help in the style of our spreadsheet. Like, if you've ever played around with fonts and looked at different fonts, you could tell that they have different styles and different vibes to them. So, for example, I went to Google and I just put in autumn Google fonts because with Google Sheets, you can use any free Google font to use in your spreadsheet. So I Googled this and I'm actually going to link this as well below. It's Sheetgram's website, but they have different fonts for Google Sheets based on the different seasons. So here's a bunch of different ones for autumn here. Then you've got winter and spring and whatnot. So here's a bunch of different ones if you want to check those out. Then I also looked at here, TechNotes actually has some seasonal fonts for Google Workspace. And so they have a bunch here. So if you look at some of these, you could tell like Creepster, this is perfect for Halloween. Butcherman, perfect for Halloween. Nocifer, perfect for Halloween because you could see the dripping liquid, which is kind of like blood. So would I use some of these for Christmas? Probably not, unless you're doing a really creepy Christmas style type of spreadsheet. But like you can actually tell that some of these have a certain style to them. And that's why it's super important to pick a font that matches the style you're doing. So for example, mine here, it's very cutesy, it's very feminine. It's got like the flowers, it's got like kind of a boho-ish look, I guess. So it's got those looks. So I probably wouldn't use, where's Creepster? I wouldn't use Creepster for this. I would use Creepster for like a Halloween theme or a creepy Christmas or a creepy something else theme, but I wouldn't use it for the style I'm going for right now. So you just want to keep that in mind when you are choosing a font, that you're choosing one that's going to match the color theme and the clip art that you've already chosen. Now for this one, the easiest way to change out your fonts inside of your spreadsheet is to change all of the body text. So that's all of the cells, all the smaller font here, and then we can change the header and the subheader later. But what we want to do is come over to our little gray box in the top left corner here, select it so that way it selects all the cells in this sheet. Then what we're going to do is under font here is you could choose different fonts. So we've got a whole bunch of them already downloaded. Yours might be different. If you want to look for more fonts, let's say I'm going to be using a font that you don't have and you want to use it, just go to more fonts and you can literally just search for it. So if I'm going to use Laura for one of them. If you don't already have it, you can see the blue check mark means that you do have it. If you don't have it, you just click on it. It will do a blue check mark. And then you can, once my head's out of the way, click OK, and it will automatically update. Now for my body text, I want it to be super easy to read, super simple. And so like the main point is readability, because remember this is the majority of the text in your spreadsheet. So you want to make sure it's easy to read. For this one, I'm going to use Roboto because I really like Roboto. I find it's very simple, easy to read. So I'm going to just change it there. I already had it. So if you ever need to look for it, you can look for it, or you can download it by using more fonts. But I've selected Roboto and it's changed all the cells. So now all my body text has changed to that. So if I add in an expense, let's say rent, it's going to be that font. Now I want to change the header. I also want to change the subheaders as well to a different style. Now, please remember, it's very important. Do not go crazy with fonts. Do not have 20 different fonts inside of your spreadsheet. Please, 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 maximum 3 fonts per spreadsheet, because any more than 3 fonts in a spreadsheet is just chaotic and it's just not pleasant to view, to use. Like, it's just, no, please don't do it. So I'm going to use just 2 fonts, 1 font for my body font, and then I'm going to use a different font for my headers and my subheaders. You can use up to 3. But remember, for our body font, we want to make it super easy to read. For our headers and our subheaders, it doesn't have to be as easy to read because they're more likely bigger fonts. So you can use a script font if you want. But for me, I really like Laura. There's something about Laura that I just really like. So I'm just going to select the cell and then choose my fonts. For my subheaders, I'm going to select them by selecting my first cell. On a Mac, you're going to use the Command key. On a PC, you're going to use Control. And then I'm just going to select each of the cells that I want to change. So I'm selecting all of my headers for each of my little sections. Then I'm going to go to my font and I'm going to choose Laura. And because they're a little, depending on what font you choose, it might be slightly smaller or bigger. You might need to adjust the size. I'm going to adjust the size a bit. That looks good. Now for the title here, I'm just going to write it, but all in caps because I like the style of that. So I'm just going to do September's budget. There you go. I might actually bold it as well and maybe a little bit bigger. That's looking cute. Okay, so that's looking good. Now, if we go look at our example again, you could see that I have changed the color of this, and I've also changed the color of my headers to kind of stand out. So I'm going to go do that now. So I'm going to, again, selecting each of my subheaders here of my sections. I'm selecting each of them. I'm going to just go to my font or my text color, and I'm going to choose the lighter beigey color that I chose before. I could do white, but I find that sometimes white's a little bit too stark depending on what color scheme you're going with. So I'm going to choose the same color as my background and see how that looks. I think that looks pretty good. So that's looking good. Now what I want to do is I'm going to change this to a darker brown. And I already had my darker brown. Remember this one that I didn't want to use before? Well, I'm going to use that for one of my main fonts. So I'm going to hop over here. I'm going to select the cell where I want to change the color of. I'm going to go to text color, hit the plus button, paste in my hex code, click OK. And as you can see, it's a darker brown, but it looks pretty good. Oh yeah, I did use a darker brown for that. Let me see this brown. I like this brown better. I might just go and change it a little bit. Don't worry if you need to make changes because you like something different later on. It's totally okay. I'm just going to change those colors because I do like the darker. Yes, much better. Quite happy with that. Yeah. Okay. So now as you can see, we've changed the colors everywhere. We've changed the fonts. We've changed the colors of the fonts. Now we're going to add in our clip art. So if you don't have clip art, that's totally okay. You're probably done and you're like, this looks pretty and you're happy with it. Then great, you can go use your spreadsheet. But I'm going to add in some clip art to make it super cute. So now I'm going to go to Insert, Image, and then I'm going to do Insert Image Over Cells. So this allows me to resize and move my images throughout the spreadsheet wherever I want. I'm going to browse and I've got a few different ones. So I know that let's grab this cozy looking one. And this one I'm going to put up near my title because it's a little bit of a bigger thing. Where did it go to? Sometimes they move around. So I'm just going to drag it over. And then I'm going to take one of the blue corners and I'm just going to resize it so it's a little bit smaller and fit it right there, right beside my title. I think that looks quite cute. Now I'm going to add a few in different areas of the spreadsheet. We don't want to overwhelm. We don't want to have too many stickers, but as you can see in this one, I have a cute little drink here. We've got pumpkins here. I've got some donuts over here. It just adds a little bit of cuteness to the spreadsheet, but we don't want to overwhelm because remember, these are images. And if you use too many images, it can slow down your spreadsheet. So I like to do 3, 4 maybe tops of images. So let's go Insert Image Over Cells, and then I'm going to choose a drink one. And again, I bought these off of Etsy. I'll probably link them below if I remember. Remind me if I don't. Where did it go? There it went. Sometimes it takes a bit. So I'm just resizing it using the blue corners, and then I'm just going to move it into spot there. There we go. And that looks cute. Sometimes I like playing around with moving the size and whatnot. Okay, so let's add another one. We're going to insert image over cells. And now we are going to choose the pumpkins. And you want to remember that when we do insert these, wherever it went, there we go. Sometimes it takes a second for it to show up. We don't want to block any of the cells our customers are going to use, or if you're using your spreadsheet for yourself personally, you don't want to block any of the cells. So I don't want to like have it right on top of here and like blocking where they're supposed to be entering data. I usually just put them off to the side. Okay, that's cute. And then I think I added some donuts right over here. So I'm going to insert my donuts because I love donuts. There we go. And they should show up somewhere. There we go. And some donuts. All right, so that's looking pretty cute. So as you can see, we took a very boring spreadsheet. So if you look at the original, so this is August, but as you can see, very boring, very blah. And then we've transformed it into a really cute, beautiful spreadsheet. So you can see it's just with adding a few different things, it can like completely transform your spreadsheet and make it more enjoyable to use your spreadsheet because we want to enjoy using our spreadsheets. It means we're going to use them on a daily basis, especially if they're this pretty. You know, I'm going to be coming back and adding in all my expenses and all my bill payments and all that stuff. I'm actually going to use this budget spreadsheet because it's so pretty. So if you have any questions at all about what I did in the spreadsheet, feel free to reach out. I hope you make some gorgeous autumn spreadsheets. Feel free to send me any photos of the spreadsheets that you do create. I'd love to see how pretty you made them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.